What are the possible outcomes of a personal injury claim? This is a question that we frequently get as personal injury lawyers. Hi, my name is Chris Klotz. I'm a personal injury lawyer at Stevenson, Klotz in Pensacola, Florida. I wanted to see if we could take a second and try to answer that question. What are the possible outcomes of my personal injury claim? So it's a little bit of a long answer, but I'm going to break it down into three things. There's essentially three things that can happen with your personal injury claim. Number one, it can get settled. Number two, it can go to trial. Or number three, it can get dismissed and go nowhere. In every claim that comes to us, one of those three things is going to happen. You're either going to go to trial, you're going to settle the case, or the case somehow will just die or get dismissed and it won't go anywhere. So let's start out by talking about trial and settlement. Every case that ever gets filed as a lawsuit ends up going one of two directions. Actually, it might go a third direction, but we'll get to that in a second. It can either go to trial or it can get settled. That particular decision is always up to the client. If you want to go to trial or if you want to settle, that's always a decision that's made by the client after they've gotten all the information from us and digested it and made a decision that's informed about what's their best course of action. If you go to trial, it's usually because the person who's injured you has not made a sufficient offer to you in order to make it worth your time to settle the case. Or sometimes there's another reason why you need to go to trial. It's usually involving money, because that's all the personal injury claims are about, is money to the family or to the person who's been injured. So if you've been offered enough money and you want to take that settlement, you can settle the case. And at that point, the case is over and you sign some paperwork releasing the person from liability and the case is done there. But if you haven't been given a good enough offer, you can elect to go to trial. And if you go to trial, that's when you're asking a jury to make a decision about how much they value your case. And a jury of either 6 or 12 people, depending which court you're in, is going to make a decision that they'll either award you a sum of money or not award you a sum of money. And then the jury also gets to decide how much money they're going to give you if they give you anything. So what you might be hearing from me about a trial is that there's a bit of uncertainty involved. And so sometimes people make a decision not to go to trial because you don't know if a jury's going to find in your favor in the first place. And if they do find in your favor, how much money are they going to give you? What you can do is know what's going to happen if you settle. So some people prefer to have the certainty of a settlement versus the uncertainty of a trial. Every single case is different. And it's always a one-at-a-time decision to make about whether you're going to go to trial or whether you're going to settle your case. The other thing that I talked about that can happen in a case is the case may die and go nowhere. It's very unfortunate that sometimes I have somebody who's injured who comes to us for help. We do an investigation in the case. We try to devote all the resources that we can to work the case up and find out if there's been some injury to them that's been caused by somebody else's negligence. And sometimes, in a very small, rare number of cases, we have to honestly give somebody an opinion that we don't think that they have a case that can proceed with the lawsuit. Those are very difficult questions to answer, very difficult conversations to have with families, because quite frequently you're dealing with somebody who's really been hurt, but the legal system is not going to give them any avenue. In order to find out whether you're going to go to trial, whether you're going to settle, whether you even have a case to start with or not, I'd be happy to talk to you and answer any questions that you have. If you or a loved one has a case or a question, please give us a call. I'm Chris Klotz at Stevenson Klotz. Our phone number is 850-444-0000, and thanks for tuning in.